Hello, everyone. Hello. So, this is a question I get. Why can't my child spell the simplest words like the, was, you, of, do, to, does? And they do seem pretty simple, right? Some of them are only like 2-3 letters long and should be easy, but there's actually some pretty compelling reasons why they can't spell those words. And so I'm going to share with you what those reasons might be and also give you some ideas about how you can help them with those words. So my name is Norma Jean. I'm the founder of Time to Shine Teaching and Coaching. I've been in the business of helping and supporting children, especially those that have learning challenges, for over 20 years. I'm an Orton Gillingham therapeutic tutor as well as a behavior interventionist. I love kids, and what I love the most is watching that light bulb come on for them when they realize that, hey, this isn't just about me. It's how I'm being taught, and when I'm being taught the way that works for me, I actually can learn. And to see them go from thinking that they're stupid to realizing just how brilliant they are is what really lights me up. So anyways, back to those simple little words are typically words that are non-phonetic, or I call them sight words. So they're words that you cannot sound out. They don't follow any rules. They don't follow the sounds of the letters. Like, look at was. If we spelled was the way it sounds, we would spell it like most kids are, which is W-U-Z, because that's what it sounds like. So these are the tricky words in the English language, and there's actually less than you think. Most words are either phonetic or they follow a spelling rule or generalization, and that accounts for about 84% of the English language. So there's really only about 16% that don't follow rules. We call them rule breakers, jail words, sight words, words that we actually have to memorize. The rest we don't have to memorize. The rest we can logicalize our way through it once we learn what the letters say, and the combinations of letters and what they say, and how they fit within a word or a syllable or a multisyllabic word, etc. But these ones are the tricky ones that we do have to memorize. Many kids can read them, but they can't spell them. That is a normal phenomenon. It drives parents crazy. It drives teachers crazy. I don't get it. They can read it. Why can't they spell it? And I'm just going to show you a couple of things here. So I'm going to turn this around. There we go. Okay, so this is actually a sight word list. It's available for free on my website, timetoshineteaching.com. But you'll see here that I've got this color means that they can read it. This color means that they can spell it. Have a look. This was just done from a simple diagnostic. I haven't really expanded on this, but look at all the words that this child can read compared to how many that child can spell. None, right? It's like crazy. But the reason behind it has something to do with how they're being taught in school. So I'm going to show you next the typical thing that teachers hand out, especially in kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, they send these home with parents. They're like, these are the first 100 words that a child should be learning. So here they are. And these are all pretty simple words, right? But you'll notice that I actually have 29 words out of 100. That's almost 30% that are underlined in red. And so those are the words that are non-phonetic. So imagine if you were a child just learning the language, how confusing this would be. So mixed together are words that don't make sense at all, like THE. How does that spell the? How? Right? Or OF. How does that spell of? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And they're mixed in with words that they can sound out. So how do they know the difference? Well, the answer is they don't. And that's part of the problem right there. When you say, why can't my kid? Well, we're not, in the average classroom, we're not actually explaining to the children that these are words that you can sound out, and I want you to try and do that. But these words you can't. There is no sounding these words out. We're just going to memorize them, right? And I want to show you a second page here because, again, this is the first 100 words. So this is, they start to be taught these in kindergarten, and by the end of grade 1, they should know all these. That's the expectation. So we've already discovered that 29% of these words are non-phonetic and have to be taught a different way, and they have to be memorized in order to read and spell them. Okay, so I want you to see something else now too. Same list. What I've done is in blue, I've underlined words that they probably haven't learned, like is. What sound is the S making there? It's making the Z sound, right? And in the word for, well, they have to know that OR says or. And the words like use, and I'm trying to find another one here. You know, the magic E words. Well, they have to understand how the magic E words. And in this one, they have to know that EA says E. And in how, they have to know OW says ow. But it also says O, like snow. And here they have to know that ER says and here they have to know that Y says I, but only at the end of a one-syllable word. And here they have to know that WA says wah, even though it should be wah. And here they have to know that ALL says all, but they also have to know that there's a suffix called ED that we put at the end of a verb that makes it past tense. So when we look at this, there's actually another 36 words out of this 100 that they won't have been taught how to spell, because they won't have been taught, you know, things like ONG and IND and OW and magic E. They won't have been taught these things. So that means that out of these 100 words, 65% of them need to be memorized. That's a lot of memorization. And not very likely to happen for most kids unless you are a naturally linguistic kid. Just this list of words alone is going to trip you up. So the first thing I always do is when I'm working with primary teachers, especially, is have them differentiate, even is by doing something as simple as this, just with a red marker, underlining or putting a red dot beside the words that can't be sounded out. This lets kids know. It's like a visual. Oh, these are one of those words. That's one of those jail words. I can't sound this one out, right? So that alone, I had one kindergarten teacher. She did this and she said, oh my gosh, MJ, it was like a light bulb came on for these kids. They were like, oh. So that's one way you can help kids. Another way is when we're teaching phonetic words or words that they can sound out or words that follow a spelling rule like magic E or OW says ow, we teach that one way, and we teach it with having the kids sound those sounds out, right? That's the phonetic way. And it's direct teaching in that you're teaching them the letters, the sounds they make, how they combine together, when to use, you know, AY for spelling the sound A as opposed to, you know, magic E. When do we use that one? So you're actually teaching them how to be logical with that information and how to apply the rules. So that is actually encouraging critical thinking. And when I'm teaching that way, I don't ever just give the answer to kids, right? And I've said this in past lives as well. What we want is to give them the opportunity to think their way through a language problem. Because first of all, when we've taught them, they are going to be able to do that. And when they do, then they have the confidence in themselves that, hey, I can do this. And that's super important because so many kids, by the time they reach grade 2, grade 3, they don't think they can read or spell. And so it's our job to show them that they can. So how is that different than teaching these sight words or these jail words? Well, these ones, we don't leave any room for mistakes, right? So when an error happens, we don't ask eliciting questions and try and get them to figure it out. It's like, no, we give them the answer right away. Because statistically, they say that every time a child writes a word the wrong way, they have to write it the proper way about 10 times in order to undo what they've done by writing it wrong just once. So we don't want to give them that opportunity, right, to write it the incorrect way more than once. So we tell them right away, oh, good try, but this is how it's spelled. W-A-S spells was. And there's the difference as well. We don't sound out because we can't, because they don't make sense, and the letters don't say the sounds that they're meant to. We letter spell. So we say the names of the letters as we write them or touch them or trace them or whatever we're doing. We say the letter names as we do it, and we end by saying the word. W-A-S spells was. T-H-E spells the. And just by doing that, as we're writing it and we're saying it out loud, we're actually incorporating all of our learning modalities, right? We're seeing ourselves do it, so that's visual. If we're writing or tracing, that's using our kinesthetic modality, or our muscles, or our tactile touching. And when we're saying it out loud, we're actually hearing ourselves. So then we're using our auditory modality as well. So that's how we help kids learn these words, is by doing it that way, because then they're using all of their learning modalities simultaneously. So even if they're not strong visual learners, which is what a lot of classrooms really depend upon, we're still strengthening that modality while we're using the modalities that they actually are good at, right? Whether that's kinesthetic or auditory, or right. So I actually have an example here, and I'm going to show you, but it's going to be backwards to you. But I've got one on my website for the word the, and these are just a few pages out of it. But it shows them how to do the letter formation, where it goes on the line, rainbow writing, missing letters. It's even got this little mnemonic here. The heavy elephant. You'll see the heavy elephant. The first letter of each of those words actually spells the. Another trigger for kids to let them know that they can't sound out these words is to do everything with sight words in red. And as soon as they see red, they're like, oh yeah, I can't sound that out. So there's a few tricks. Like I said, this one is available for sale on my website if you're interested in it. I think there's like 7 pages, and it gives you all the instructions and all the reasons why we teach it the way we do in order to help kids. So anyways, that's what I've got for you today. I've also got this sight word list available on my website for a free download, and I'll put all the links in the comments below for you to make it easy. Also still available is the first letter pack of my reading, spelling, and printing program. It's available for free download, and you'll find that in the courses. Again, I'll put that in the comments. And the membership is open for registration as well, and the second letter pack of the program is ready to be released. So hoping to hear from you. If you have any particular sight words or little words that your kids are really struggling with, feel free to reach out to me. I might have a trick or two up my sleeve. I actually have lots of tricks up my sleeve, and I can probably help you out. So that or any other problem, give me a shout. I'd love to hear more about where your challenges lie and how I can help you, because ultimately that I'm helping the kids. All right, you guys, happy teaching out there. Enjoy your day.